Welcome back to our channel, Warriors. We are less than 100 subscribers away from hitting 7,000. Let's get us there. Keep sharing, and if you haven't already, subscribe. This story right here, Charlie Yard, RJD, Donovan, SNY, level 4 EOP. I know that's a lot. I know you're wondering, what is all those abbreviations? What is that you're speaking of? All right, so it's a level 4 yard, meaning the maximum level of security of inmates that we have. Strike one. SNY, sensitive needs yard. People who have ended up there for being scared of their own shadow. People who have ended up there by being in bad standings with their own people. And EOP, enhanced outpatient, the mentally ill inmates. Mentally ill. I've said it before. Probably 80%. I'll be fair. 75%. 75% are faking it. Okay? And just using the system to their benefit. You have level 4. This is a whole yard. This is 1 yard. Level 4 SNY EOP. Holy shit, I didn't even get into the developmental disability, the DDs. So these people are slow. The inmates are slow, where they're going to need prompting to, like, hey, brush your teeth over here, take a shower over there. Here, buddy, let me help you with your paperwork. So it's that yard. It's the yard that nobody wants to be on, rightfully so. During this particular time, I am an acting lieutenant. So my regular position is a sergeant, but I got the bars on. I'm acting in that position with the ultimate goal of making those bars permanent. That's how that works. Sometimes if you act, they'll pick you up. Sometimes if you act, they won't pick you up. It's kind of the luck of the draw. Since I was acting, there were certain things I couldn't do. I couldn't do RVR hearings, the rules violation reports, the 115, meaning that when inmates got a write-up inside of prison, they violated a rule, they would get written up, and as a lieutenant, a hard bar lieutenant, you would be the judge in essence. You would adjudicate that. You would look at all the evidence, you would say whether he was guilty, whether he was not guilty, and then you would go to put out penalties, loss of privileges, like you can take away their day room, meaning that you can take away the opportunity from them to go play cards on the tables, on the day room. You can take away their yard privileges so they cannot go to the recreational yard, up to 90 days. So, during this particular time, I'm an acting lieutenant. I couldn't do RVR hearings. So what they do is they just give you like a stack of like allegations, of staff misconduct, of complaints. They just give you a stack of this type of work. And I can see why they do it, right? Since you can't work over here, we're going to give you the shit that we don't want to do. Here's all this stuff right here. So that's just the way it goes. And incident reports. As an acting lieutenant, you are doing incident reports. So if something cracks off in your yard, which results in an incident, you're going to complete that whole process. You're going to sign off as an acting lieutenant. So on this particular day, I was an acting lieutenant assigned to Delta Yard, which is across the way from the prison on one end of Charlie Yard. You got to walk quite a ways. I'm walking there with my folder, a folder in my hand with all my paperwork and all my assignments. My homie, he was my homie at the time, He's no longer, because this dude, when he promoted a captain, went nuts, switched it up so crazy that I've never seen anything like that before. So at the time, yeah, he's my homie. He was assigned to Charlie Yard, second watch lieutenant. As I'm walking onto the yard, right, there's a gate to get onto the yard. There's a corner of the building. There, as soon as you come in, there's the sergeant's office, the lieutenant's office, the captain's office, and there's that corner of that building. As soon as I step onto the yard, a code goes off on the yard, right? You put the yard down, get down, get down. The inmates proceed to get down. And thank God, because at Donovan, they don't be getting down. They're wild. And I don't know why the higher-ups don't let you put them down, because they say that you shouldn't use force for that. They say all kinds of, it's messed up. So my homie, the lieutenant, comes out on the corner of the building. So like as a lieutenant during an incident, you step out of your office and you observe. You're the incident commander. You have overall authority of what is happening. Your role is also to get more help if needed and to direct the extra help to where it's located. This is the role of an incident commander. This is the role of a lieutenant. I know it looks like we just sit around and drink coffee. And we do, we do. But there's times where we have to work. So the yard goes down. He comes out with his officer. The officer was in charge of paperwork and shit. But mind you, she's still an officer. Meaning, you can and should respond to incidents and so on and so forth. But I understand the importance of that job of getting all that paperwork together, especially on that yard. It's kind of what you need because it's so out of control. Me and him are chopping it up, bullshitting right there. What had happened was a fight in front of Housing Unit 14. There was a fight on like a handball court, basketball court, right in front of 14. Ish. So like on the side of the basketball courts. As the officers are doing their thing and, handcuffing the involved inmates, picking them up to escort them, the alarm in Housing Unit 14 goes off. So the alarm goes off. They call staff assault. So like initially, right, every time something went off, my ears would perk up. And then they called staff assault. So I'm standing there with my folder. I hear staff assault. So I think to myself real fast, do I need to respond to this? Right? Because oh my God, it is far. Those yards at Donovan are probably like 3 times the length of any of the Centinela yard. The length. So real fast, I gather, okay, they just had a code. They're right there. All responding staff are right there. Housing Unit 14's front door is right there. They got it. They have to have it. They got it. So I'm holding my folder. Damn, I'm fucking shaking thinking about this shit. So it was a one-on-one. They called staff assault. I don't respond it yet. I look at my friend, because that's that type of yard he was. You would have code after code after code after code. And then the higher-ups would wonder why you can't get your work done. Not even a minute goes by, the alarm goes off again, and then you hear a frantic radio call. Code 3 staff assault, code 3 staff assault. I fucking book it. Like, now is my cue to go. Like, there is no ands, ifs, whats, or buts. I don't give a fuck. I'm going. A code 3 is the largest disturbance that we have. A staff assault is an inmate and or inmates battering, beating up, stabbing, assaulting officers. Blue attacking green. That's what I heard. Code 3 staff assault. I have my fucking folder in my hand. I book it. And as I'm booking it, I see, and I shout out to these OG lieutenants. Two OG lieutenants. Top 4 seniority. Top 3 seniority at that time. Top 3 seniority, right? And I see him in a golf cart, like kind of pass me up. So, God bless him. That's how serious this was. When you have like massive like lieutenants, it's huge. Everybody's responding. So we all simultaneously get there at the same time. You have other officers from other yards coming. There is a criminal, a suspect, that was restrained outside the front of the housing unit. I want to say that this dude was the initial aggressor, was the initial staff assault that was called. And I'll get to how like that shit went down after this. There's that fucking guy right there laying in the fucking prone position, like crying, screaming. Let me tell you about level 4 SNYs. They think they're hard. But they're truly not. What they'll do is they'll prey on the weak. They'll victimize you, and then when you respond, they fucking cry and they want to play the victim card. It's like, you asshole. 2 things: either don't assault cops, don't do anything crazy, mind your own P's and Q's, and or if you assault a cop, if you want to be big and bad, be big and bad all the way. That's the truth. I'm not trying to sound hard. I'm not being rude. Like, it used to agitate me when they used to switch it up in the middle of it. It used to fucking drive me nuts. It's like, that's not a gangster. That's nothing gangster about it. That's bitch shit. So, I come in. Oh, yeah, it was a fucking mess. It was a fucking mess. You had fucking inmates. It was a mess. You had a lot of inmates in there. You had a lot of staff in there. You had inmates inciting. You had, it was a mess. It was wild. At this time, it was during like the Black Lives Matter movement, protests. Like, this is like kind of like in the peak almost. They're fucking yelling what they're yelling. Black Lives Matter, fuck the police, kill the police. These dudes were going all the way, right? So they're going all the way, we're going all the way. And it was just like, I kind of wish situations like that just wouldn't happen. But this is the, when shit explodes, when shit blows up, this is it blowing up. This is a literally, I went over there to go chill with my homie and go do my work. And it's what started off as a fight. I don't even think this was planned. Like planned. What's because they're S&Y. Yes, they can plan, but the most of the planning of attacks against officers is like a GP, and it's structured. Like, they'll literally have a whole game plan. They'll literally map that shit out strategy-wise. So, this was a one-on-one that happened in front of 14. When that one-on-one happened, the yard went down, and then inside the buildings, we put the buildings down to respond. Meaning we put the inmates, we tell them to sit on the floor. Well, it just so happened that the counselor of Housing Unit 14 was in there doing his thing. Poor guy, working. All we want to do is work and be left alone. And in essence, our work is to kind of help out the inmate population. He's a counselor. He has to crunch shit up. Parole dates, classification points, enemy list. So why you would want to punch one or beat one up is beyond me. As the yard goes down as a result of the one-on-one, this big-ass inmate comes into the counselor's office. and tries to ask the counselor a question during a code. The counselor's like, whoa, hey man, get out of my office and have a seat. Like, there's a code right now, bro. Like, what are you thinking? Like, not rude either. This guy wasn't a rude guy and he was a fucking nice guy. Tells the guy, hey man, have a seat, get out of here. Like, there's a code going on. The dude fucking loses his mind, starts attacking the counselor. Like, punches him. Imagine how scary this is, man. You're in an office. You're in an office fighting a big ass inmate. Yeah, your help is nearby, but they are busy, distracted with something else right now. They're fighting now. You have a big ass inmate and a like smaller size. He wasn't a small dude, but in comparison to the inmate, yeah, fighting a fucking inmate for his life in the counselor's office behind the desk. Oh my god. The control booth officer sees it, hits their alarm, staff assault. The troops come running in. He's still on top of them. He's still ground and pounding. You know, UFC, the inmate is, I think the counselor was holding him up like this. Meanwhile, I'm standing, not knowing any of this is happening. I'm standing at the corner of that building with my homie, the other lieutenant. As they are restraining this inmate that's attacking the counselor, all the other inmates get up. The majority were black, right? The suspect that attacked this dude was black. Not that racial has a point, but I want to paint the clear picture for you. All these other guys get they start inciting. They start attacking. It fucking erupted. It blew up. That's how volatile these situations are. Now you have a shitload of black inmates fighting cops on a level 4 SNY EOP. And that's when that transmission came out. Code 3 staff assault. Code 3 staff assault. That's when I book it. Like I told you, when I got there, it was a fucking mess. Like, man. Anyways, I think you guys get the idea. That's how shit can pop off, man. It does. So you just always got to be ready. And this is why I used to stress like physical fitness and health, because that was a long fucking run. And after you run there, you still have to fight. So there's no good unless you were like those OG lieutenants who had the right mindset. They got in a fucking golf cart. They're not dumb. They're not dumb. Fucking boom. So hats off to them. Yeah. Man. So as I end this video, right, as I come to a close, just want you guys to remember, man, even if we're in dangerous situations, whatever side of the fence we're on, man, just utilize reason. Because believe it or not, one person's action can fucking ignite a forest fire. And please have that mindset. On any side of the fence, right? And I've already said this. So please have that mindset. This is a good one right here. You ready? Prepare for war, but pray for peace. And that's it. Be the warrior in the garden. Keep pushing forward.